And we should be live. What's up, guys? Welcome to another Friday, a demo session. I think we're going to wait a little bit for the people to tune in. But if you're completely new to this, every Friday the whole team sits down and we talk about the things that happened, about the cool things we built, the progress on the company, but also a little bit on how we do something. So you guys can not only see the success we have, but also what's behind that. Success not yet defined. But yeah. Glad that you tuned in or maybe watch this later. And I would instantly go to Louis, our wonderful CEO, to go a little bit of what's happened, because it was a lot, right?
Thank you and welcome back. You see, Eli is already happy, Johan is happy, the guys are back together. It's the first live stream of the year. And as you notice, it's not the 2nd of January or 1st of January where the first Friday was. We actually took 2 weeks off, also during Christmas, because all of us were back in Germany, enjoyed some gentle days with family and just calming down. But now we're back. However, we're back in a bit of a different way. We got everyone back together here in Cape Town last week, basically Saturday, I think most people were here. And then we had a big goal-setting workshop type of thing. We basically took the full Sunday, got together with everyone and reviewed a bit the last 2 months or so of Acta. The things we worked on, the progress we made, the things that were working or were not working. And to me, I think the biggest realization over the years was like, we were here for 2 months working hard on all of the ventures, but the outcomes we generated in terms of real traction, revenue, things we shipped to the world was not on the level that I think we are capable of, and I think also we should be at, given that we are also in a very competitive, ambitious environment. And this led me to also rethink a bit of how we're doing things over the years. And Björn and I, Björn is also the co-founder of Acta, also the main investor. We had also many conversations in the first few weeks of the year and just talked about a lot of things. And in the end, we went quite open-mindedly, I would say, into this workshop and session where we're like, something needs to change, and we don't quite know yet how, but the basic exercise we try to do is take apart everything that Acta is, question all the things we do, speak real truth in the team, also from our side, but also I think between us as members, and figure out what the right combination is that serves what we're trying to do here right now. Yeah.
Talk a little bit. You could talk a little bit about what Acta is for every new people out there. And
great point. What is Acta? Maybe briefly then, going back in time a bit, the reason why Acta was started for Björn and me was that we wanted to try an experiment of how we can bring a group of people together that are engineers, content creators, product thinkers, designers, and what happens if we put them together basically in one environment, one company, one organization, and let them work on what excites them most, combined with some DAO track elements, which includes meditation, which includes work, which includes inner work. Basically saying, hey, whatever you face along your way of building a company, it's inevitable to face hard times and difficulties, but we think it does not need to dictate your internal state. You don't need to suffer because your company is not growing at the moment or because you pivoted for the 5th time, but you can build an inner foundation to work on that. And this was initially the spark. However, I think in the last year, from when we started to then, continuing, we slowly moved a bit away from this initial spark and initial inspiration of why we started what we did. And I think January was also a way of course adjusting a bit back to that. And to not bore the people who might not be so deep into everything we did. Of course, we're happy to go deeply into it. The outcome where we are today and how we're going to work is quite clear. And the outcome where we are today is that we basically presented everyone in the team with the following reality. We now have 90 days, 90, around 3 months, to make all the ventures we're building work or we die, which sounds very harsh. But the truth is, we are a company that obviously is not here for just charity and we can invest infinitely in the curiosities and figuring things out, but we are in this hard reality that as a startup, you are basically running against time. You need to work really hard to survive in that sense. In YC, you talk a lot about this ramen profitability, the moment you have this first 10K or 20K or whatever that means to you in recurring revenue, so you can actually live continuously and work on this company more and more. And this now is to go for the next 90 days. The other change that we did is, a mistake I made actually, is I think the ventures we built a bit too closely tied to relying on me that I figure out product market fit or like make the decisions or lead that in a way. This doesn't mean that everyone was doing independently great work in the functions, but just energetically, I think this ownership of this is my thing, this is where I fully step into, wasn't fully there in the last 2 months. So this was also a change we sort of made. And today we're here standing with 3 ventures that we're building that now each have 90 days to get meaningful traction, which basically means revenue, make 10K a month, depending on what product we talk about. And it's led by one person together with another person sometimes, but this one person is really in charge energetically. And yeah, this is how we rearrange the bits. Maybe from the outside it looks very much like what we did before. However, I think internally the difference is really noticeable of how we're working, how it's more independent now, how there's more less of a ceiling. It's more like freedom to fully go into it and own it end to end. And yeah, this was the hard change I think we went through. A lot of emotional days, a lot of intense conversations, but I think now we are in a state where we have a good shot at making that. And yet we're now with 87 days left. It's on the whiteboard. Every day we update it. So this is the change. Anything else on your mind, Justus, on that? How does this change feel to you?
I would 100% agree. I now got the chance to work together with Eli on a startup, and the content team, the best, is of course always there, and we're pushing Acta further and further, doing these live streams, telling the story on how we built this. But if you really invested into something, it completely shifts how you take decisions, how you work efficiently and time-wise, because now there's something at stake. There's something you really love, and you don't want to crash the thing you love into the wall. So you take better decisions more carefully, more wisely, and as we will probably see later and hear later, it enables you to move further quicker. And I just used my personal brand to also go fully into it, because now I can embody this, okay, I'm building something for me. And I think this change was crucial, because we had this with content before. Chris and me love content, and because we love content, we love what we're doing, we're really good at it, and it was easy for us to move forward. And now we also apply this on every venture, and I'm very excited. So yeah.
Intense 90 days ahead, but I'm stoked for that. And yeah, we'll see how this change served us or not. But yeah, how about we jump right into what this demo session is supposed to be? It's not just us sharing like, this is what we think about what we do. It's actually about sharing what we did every single week, demoing to the internet, to some people watching, interested in this entrepreneurial journey of how they build a startup, what do the early days look like. And all of these startups currently are still pre-product market fit, pre-revenue in that sense. But that counter is on. 87 days left. So let's start with Nova. Eli, are you ready?
Woo!
Let's go.
Let me introduce Eli when he's coming in front. Technical mastermind, engineer, and product guy behind Nova. And we now are building something very interesting. I think when we started these 90 days, me and Eli basically we got put together and said like, okay, obviously we took the decision, but we said, okay, now let's build something really cool. And I think it's your turn to show the world.
Thanks for the introduction, Justus. I thought I'm not sure about the truthfulness of a couple of statements, but we just leave it there, Branding. So, it's branding, okay. Fair enough. So, speaking of Nova, maybe we should probably explain a bit of the background behind what was happening before we got back together here in Cape Town. Originally, Luis and I got together and we were trying to build this product to help people achieve their goals. And the way we tried to build this was by building a mostly conversational AI that helps you with reflection and keeps track of your metrics, so you can really make sure day by day that you're moving closer towards the things that you want. Eventually, probably like a month ago or so, I made this decision to kind of pivot more into an AI companion, because I noticed what I loved most about the product was that it remembered everything about me, and that it kind of was functioning as this companion, sending me smart, messages here and there and reminding me of things. We had it launched. I think at the time we had around 140 downloads on App Store, and I think 13 people or so started a free trial. 60 of those churned, so 40% were left, which leaves us at around 7% free to paid conversion, which is pretty decent, and I think it was the best conversion which I ever had with any of the products that I built. So it definitely seemed quite promising. One thing I noticed kind of missing though was kind of my excitement to, you know, go after the things, talk to users, and be the source of what it is that we're trying to do here. So that was pretty much when, you know, I then started working with Justus, and we came across a very interesting problem that both of us also face. So maybe that's where we go into. So. Got it? Awesome. Okay, let's go. So we came up with this concept of a second brain. So what is a second brain? We noticed how, I mean, first of all, both of us, as kind of like ADHD-like founders and creatives, we're always having this problem of having a lot of ideas, thoughts, and tasks, you know, flying around. Like, I don't know, while we're grinding, we forget to do our laundry and all these sorts of things, and really just forget, or also don't really want to use existing tools like Notion, which really, you know, typically should help you structure all the things, put them into like Notion templates that you pay for or whatnot, and we really also can stick with them, since they're super hard to maintain. So what that leads to is that, you know, important things that need to get done just stay undone or get completely forgotten.
I think the best example is everyone with an iPhone has the Notes app on it, and if you go in the app and scroll down, there are so many thoughts we had over the last years or months. But if we are true to ourselves, like most of them stay forgotten after we write them down. And we had this problem, and then we said, let's fucking fix it. Sorry, language.
So since at the time I didn't want to make like really crucial product decisions without, you know, collecting information from outside and talking to users, we sat down and talked to a couple of exactly these people. We did this via an Insta story by Justus and talked to like 6 people back to back just today. And here are the things which they found were, you know, kind of the true pains which that causes them. These are things like constant mental load, being disorganized, missed personal goals or creative projects, which they maybe wanted to start on the weekend, but they forgot again, missed appointments and just forgotten commitments. Then once we digged a bit deeper, we noticed how people were already, you know, using tools and even sometimes paying for things like Notion templates in the past, and or even doing that right now. Which is kind of a collection of all sorts of things. We've heard about a pattern where people would start a WhatsApp group with just themselves in it, or you know, collect everything in notes and just let it get dusty. Try to do maybe like time blocking calendars and stuff, but then, you know, things shift because all of a sudden you're super focused on one thing, and you have to reschedule your you know, entire plans. Also like other accountability and like to-do list apps, but all those seem pretty static. So we had an idea which we wanted to build, which also kind of sits on the same foundation as the AI companion concept, which is a second brain. Now, Justus, you want to explain quickly what a second brain is for you, or should I go ahead and explain it?
I mean, the simple answer is you also already have a brain. Now, just think of having another brain. Like I say, you have a brain, and the way it's currently working is very unorganized and thoughts all over the place. And what would you have? We all have our phones, and we have so many things we do throughout the day, and it's always right beside us. So what if there is a place where you can dump all that mess you have in your brain and have a place where it's all organized, structured, that builds up the more you dump, and then gets context of your life and can even help you get your normal brain to work more efficiently with everything that's on your mind.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that pretty much puts it together, and that is basically the hypothesis that me made. Now, like the way that this would, you know, ideally work is you just basically share whatever is on your mind, unstructured as it is, dump an idea whenever you want, and things get structured in the background. What that means in detail is that your thoughts get organized, basically how you would do it in a Notion board, just that you won't have to. All your brain dumps turn into to-dos, which you can actually act on, and your commitments that you make to yourself throughout the week actually turn into reminders without you having to go into calendar and do all these things yourself. Now, here's what we then kind of set out to do and also accomplished this week.
I think the main thing we did is use my personal brand. If you've no idea who I am, I already was a content creator before Acta, and I dropped off uni and started documenting my way from a uni dropout to now being here. And I built a community of very like-minded people, like ADHD, founder type, self-employed, creatives, editors, all these people. And we said, okay, if we now solving a problem that we have, I have a community that kind of has similar problems. So why don't just use that, and I can do what I do best, and this is content. So we started a 90-day series of me documenting my way through the startup mess, and we talking about the features and everything we do in detail, so you can be part of that journey and also build the app with us. And we're now on day 3. Real will be out a little bit later today because we now have this. And then I think you should talk about the technical side, because what we did there was like crazy.
Sure. So I basically I sat down in the beginning of the week, and I think we already pushed an update on Monday or so, which was still kind of not really being convinced that we should now fully commit to this direction. So then, yeah, pretty much. And then the 2 days after, I sat down and I basically tried to look at the structure and try to frame it in a way where it now fits into this kind of like this second, brain type product. Adjusted the entire onboarding. Then I also added tags to the sessions that you have, so you can, efficiently now find your reminders and your ideas, which you've collected over time. Which was, I don't know, probably 2 days of 12 hours just heads down. And then as I had mentioned before, since it was super important, through Justus Reach, I think you had 24 people or so message you on Instagram after this story. And a lot of them have actually then scheduled feedback calls, which was super nice to see. And then we sat down today and had 6 of these back to back and 5 more to be scheduled for the rest of the week.
I think if you want to go through how we did it, we basically sat down and redesigned the complete onboarding and trying to adjust the vision of where we want to go with the text and the onboarding and the user experience, and did a lot of that. We designed the new assets for the app store, so everything that you now do in this app fits the framing that we came up with of the second brain. And one thought on these user conversations, I think it really shows what we did at Acta works with having social media as a core part of what you do, because you get so close to your users, you get so close to the people. If it's hiring, if it's feedback, if it's just building a community around the thing you're trying to do. And basically moving that fast tracks back to having this as an asset. And just doing it always helps, right? Sure. All right, I think. Do you have anything more?
Nope. Not really. Try the app.
It's already live on the app at the App Store. Of course, it's not.
We should still probably talk about that one issue, which is.
Yeah, we launched the app and it got live, I think, in the middle of the night. And the first person who tried it was instantly black screen. Nothing worked, and we were like, oh shit, oh fuck. What have we done? And we now submitted a new version that has this bug fixed, but it's work in progress. We're trying to push a new update with all new features and bug fixes every 2 days or so, if we can keep up the pace. But if you already want to try it out and are excited of the idea and think that it maybe could help you, I think it's in the App Store. You don't even have to leave a review. Leave me a DM and say what's shit. Then make it 5 stars and then write a review. Perfect. And now we give to the other team. Oh God, to the underdogs. No one knows.
get out of this. Talk while you think. All right. So me and Ada are gonna show you what we've done in Agent OS. Not that much has happened. I have to be honest because I arrived way too late, and like we were basically only worked like on a few smaller things during Christmas and afterwards. Just want to give you like a quick introduction to what Agent OS is. So we are trying to build like an agentic operating system, which sits somewhere between, let's say, the Manuses, the Lovables of the world, and like these workflow automators like N8N. But we want to make sure that this whole sort of ecosystem is completely like directable just through like natural language. So there's no boxes and arrows, no like drawing, no understanding any technical tools. We want you just like to prompt away and figure things out on the go. A few things have changed because we've done some sort of internal testing and like a few sort of like internal things to figure out how people use the thing. I've had like around about like, I think 6 people, like Lewis, our CEO, and like some friends of mine to test it. And like the major thing I got back from that is that it's like just very unintuitive. Like if I don't hold like a monologue about what it does, it's like very hard to figure out what Agent OS actually should do. So that's why my sort of primary goal for this week is to rework the onboarding and basically all the documentation, and then finally release it so we can get some more feedback from like people in the public. If you're interested, we've got like a waitlist here on the landing page that's going to be gone in a week. But yeah, if you sign up, we can send you like a reminder email just to let you know. Just maybe Ada can introduce himself because he's still kind of new on this project, and maybe just go through like the sample project you've set up, and then I can just go over like some of the additions I've made.
Hi, my name is Arda from Acta. So basically, I just started working for Agent OS. I was working for Noah before, and our main goal is to create a company that creates companies effortlessly. So we have one demo product. I hope it worked. Let's see if we got any errors or something. If we can see, we got just scaffold something. So basically you just chat and you say, I have an idea, create me an app like this and build a company around that. It creates agents for you, backend developers and front-end developers and lead engineers, and they create the product, and you can also manage your workflows with other things that we're going to add in the future. So that's the main goal of Agent OS, and we are stuck to just move on and develop the other things around the idea, this like golden apple that we call it.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Actually, it's like we would like to create an Uber for like animals. So basically, like to take care of animals.
I think I have to cut Ada here. Basically, like again, we're gonna release next Friday, and probably in the demo, I'm just gonna give you like a bit more of like what's going on there. The next one is Arc, led by Lewis and Chris, and they're gonna present you theirs.
Awesome, thank you guys, good job. Arda, no, we're not doing that, but thanks for sharing. We're back, okay, great. Well, okay. We should probably put the stream control, you got it? Okay, you can chill on that screen for now. All right, guys, so now we're coming to the third project of the year. And I teamed up with an incredibly talented, handsome, funny, creative person that is not Justus, but Chris. Welcome to the project.
Hey, hi stream. My name is Chris. I'm the other social media guy from the duo tag team, whatever you call it. And I'm here to also support my guy, Luis Mockner. and he has some good ideas that he did, and he will present you something that is insane.
Yeah, and before that, I saw in the chat, in the stream, no one is chatting. Like, chat, we want to involve you. If there's questions, like just drop questions. We're happy to involve that. But if you just want to passively observe, that's also fine. Regardless, let's jump into it. So, what happened when I think Eli and I worked together was basically I had a bit of a product direction in my mind, and Eli had a little bit of a different product direction in his mind. And instead of always fighting over what we should do, why don't we just split it and make two things out of it? Like, 2 startups is better than 1, right? No. All jokes aside, I think it's actually a really good combination with now one content-focused person and a product-mind, technology-focused person. So I think the combination of Eli and Justus is incredible, and Chris and I are going to try to beat them in the next 90 days in making revenue and traction. Okay, we're going to beat them in the next 90 days in making revenue. We're also supported by Joe, who's not here today. However, we want to show you what we're up to. So, a problem, Chris, we're hearing again and again from many people in their 20s, maybe early career, maybe even, prior to studying at university, is that they're really bad at going after the goals that they have. A lot of things they have are dreams, aspirations. Like, one day I want to do a startup, one day I want to run a marathon, one day I want to do X, Y, Z. But they have a hard time really committing to this and making progress. And I understand it's hard. We have phone addiction, which is a huge topic for many people. We saw products popping up like bricks and other, things on the internet, which just block your phone so you can actually stay focused. There is also a loneliness epidemic going on a bit in this generation. A lot of things which are really hard for people to really move the needle. And this problem is something we want to take on because we've been there. Also, I've been there. Over Christmas, I was feeling a bit low, because I wasn't in my normal environment and so forth. And what came out of this is a new thing called ARC. You can sign up at joinarcnow.com. Joinarcnow.com. Let me quickly explain to you what the basics of this are. So we want to build a rather experimental new experience where on the first of the month, of every month, we open up this experience, which we're going to talk about in a moment, which is just for people who are really serious about their goals. You can only get started on the first of the month, and then you're going to get guided through a quick session to get clarity on what you're going to do for a given month with a sort of coaching experience. It really challenges you on, is this really the right thing to work on or not? Is this something you're actually able to commit to or not? Are you doing a bit too much or should you do less and so forth? Like, all these questions around goal setting are actually hard. And one thing that helped me incredibly much is work with people who are good at goal setting, helping me get really specific on what are we measuring and so forth. And then I'm set up for success in that way. If you don't know where you're going in a given month, you're not going to get there. So this is the first thing you're going to do. And the second element of it, which I think is super cool, you'll have your social media blocked every morning until you perform the ritual you agreed on in the clarity session. So you're basically making a plan. You're building a system with ARC at the first of the month for this month, and then you're forced to commit to it for the next 30 or 31 days, depending on the month, which is quite a new experience. What do you want to add?
I want to add that you basically, you're trying to implement a positive routine instead of a negative routine in the morning, which is great. And the app forces you to do that.
Yeah. So this will be your one-stop solution community, active hustle thing to go from aspiration to reality in a guided system, guided community. Look at this beautiful landing page I made. I played around with 3JS. Doesn't that look cool? The logo you did, super nice. It's for now just a landing page. I think what is interesting, what we also shipped, is a conversational waitlist. So instead of just letting people sign up with their email, we actually are using this with a large language model in the background to figure out what your problem is. So right now you can, for example, say ready, and then it sort of asks you about, hey, what have you done in the past? What is your biggest goal right now? What is in the way? And so forth. All of these things we add to the database and then also analyze them with a large language model. So now we have hundreds of people signing up, hopefully every week, right? Because you're doing your marketing job well. Then we can have a quick look at the things we're actually learning, the common patterns, the common themes, and quickly identify also who's actually the right person we should even talk to personally more, or who's maybe not the right person because it's not our target group for the moment. So I think this is something cool you can just get started on right now. Another quick thing I want to show you, because this demo session is a small thing I was hacking on that I gave to you, which will be part of the ARC app, which is reflections. It's basically just one screen. We'll share a lot more once it's ready, hopefully next week. But the basic thing I built was a very simple mobile app where you can capture your thoughts. Okay, now we get in competition with Nova. No, but like this is what we we basically built. So you can, for example, drop something. Today I'm feeling a bit insecure about the demo live stream that's coming up. We haven't been live for nearly 3 weeks, and I'm just curious whether the community understands the updates we did and excited about what we do. So as simple as that. It's transcribing, it's tagging it directly. Where did you get the idea from tagging? I did this before you guys with the tagging, but we'll fight this out another time. Yeah. Anyways, the other thing we added here is that you can generate an AI mirror. So this is basically you can select all the authors or philosophers you like, or psychologists, and based on this, it gives you a lens into the thought that you just captured, if it works. This is one part of the app that we're going to show you, because we think the question of goal accomplishment is not just a habit tracker or doing a coaching session or meditating. It's actually a combination of all of these elements, using your thoughts, working with your thoughts, and so forth. So this is what we did this week. We're excited to crush it, to really get a lot of people signed up here. And I think, honestly, this is what I want to use. We're building this really much for you and me, I think, because you're also a really much, I would say, a go-getter, someone who doesn't, stop before their dreams. So, yeah, let's get this out to the people, man. Are you stoked?
Bro, I'm so excited because I used to be the same person who would have need the app actually. Like when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, even 20, I always was stuck with my goals, and I always tried to do like multiple Notion boards and changed all the time, like many systems to trying like to accomplish that. And now, no, not Nova. And now I can probably do it with an inch. It's so nice, and I'm so stoked for it. And we have many things, that we didn't tell you, but we want to implement. But more on that maybe in the next demo session or.
Yeah, and as you realize, there is quite some overlay between Nova and this, but this is natural because it was born out of our joint work with Reflector, all of this leading up to this. But now we're basically taking two directions. We really want to go into this goal accomplishment, like step into your highest fulfilled version, really go after it, and we help you get there in a cool digital experience. And you guys are right now a bit more focused on capturing your thoughts, organizing them, getting them clear. And we'll see, maybe 90 days we end up with the exact same thing, and we learn, okay, then let's join forces, let's do it. But maybe we end up with different ICPs, so ideal customer profiles we're going after. So this will be interesting to see. And again, look at this animation, isn't that lovely? Cool. Are there any questions in chat, or is chat still dead?
Chat is warming up.
It's warming up.
They were dropping when you started talking. But
Were they really? They were dropping when I started talking. Man, I need to work on my charisma. Anyways, are there any questions we should answer, or are we good? For now, not. Oh, man. For the ones who are seeing this after, thank you for joining, for watching this. We're really in the process now from this fictionist dream, being a believer, naive, like, yeah, let's just build companies, to making this real in the next 90 days. We're excited to document every step along the way. Check out our Instagram. Check out our YouTube channel.
Join the waitlist.
Join the waitlist. Join argnow.com. We are excited to see you. All right.
If you don't want to wait for these guys to actually build the product, which is probably going to take them a while, you can also download Nova, your second brain, right away in this second.
Just join the waitlist. You don't need Nova. You don't need Nova.